For the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. A few announcements tonight. There's a movie night, July 26th. Lego Batman at 8:15 at the Recreation Field. Farmers Market, Saturday, July 27th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. There's also a British soccer camp scheduled for July 29th to August 2nd from 4 to 7 at the town field. Registration for fall soccer is open now. You can register at the New Ipswich Recreation Department recdesk.com. That's nird.recdesk.com. This evening, 6 o'clock, Stephen Terez DeLuca. 6:15, Fire Department lighting and signage, old and new business, and then we have a non-public at 6:30. How can we help you, Mr. DeLuca?
I inquired a little bit, or like a couple months ago, about opening up a dealership in New Ipswich, car dealership. I don't know which one of you guys exactly emailed back to the zoning board. I was just wondering how I would go about, getting the special exceptions and stuff like that.
First of all, you would need to become familiar with the zoning ordinance.
Yep, there's no zoning ordinance for auto dealing in New Ipswich. Like no actually zoned places, so I'd have to get a special exception.
Correct. So you would have to have that property, be the owner of the property, or have written permission from the property owner, and you would have to apply to the ZBA.
Okay.
And to help you out with that is if you come in and see Mrs. Raudiola.
Yep, I worked with her for like the last couple months.
Okay. She would have the application for you to fill out.
Yep, I have one mostly filled out, and then the man who owns the New East Mall, he's ready to write me a letter on contingent saying he'd rent me a space and then a little bit of a lot.
But he has to authorize you as his representative. Otherwise, he has to come in and apply for that variance or special exception.
And she was telling me that instead of that place, you guys were thinking about commercially zoning a place near the right if you take to go to Peterborough, or the left to go to Jaffrey.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? Is that land for sale or?
It's town land.
Okay.
Right now it's where the transfer station is, and a portion of it used to be the town dump, which has been capped now for quite a while. The board had discussed looking at making that area of town more of a commercial zoned area, but we haven't gone forth with engineering and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to take a look at it and perhaps come back with a proposal, I think we'd be happy to listen.
Okay.
What kind of dealership are you looking at, if I might ask?
A small car dealership.
Used car?
Yeah, nothing big, just like 8 cars up front. Just enough so I can get my license to go to the auctions and stuff like that. My grandpa did it for 40 plus years in Lunenburg, Leominster, and Fitchburg.
So what made you choose New Ipswich?
I went to high school here and I really liked the town, and I pumped gas for probably most of you guys at least once or twice down at the Mobile. I like the town, it's small, and right now we have an office at the schoolyard, and I own J&S Construction as well.
Good.
So I'd like to keep, my central base as far as everything in New Ipswich, because I like the town and I live, a 30-second walk up the street.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Anything else we can help you with?
No.
All right,
Boss man.
very good.
All right. Thank you, Stephen.
Cool. Thank you guys so much. Nice to see you guys again.
Nice to see you.
Fire department lighting and signage. I'm assuming this is pertaining to the light.
Yeah, the blinking light.
Yeah.
I was at work and I got a call from Chief Lund, just because the local our DPW department or Public Works department showed up and started taking the signs down, I guess from around where the blinking yellow used to hang, and they took all but one, I guess because the one is too close. And it was the first that the chief had heard about it, and it's the first I had heard about it. So I just wanted to find out what prompted the decision. Are we going to replace the blinking yellow that was there, and do we have any options? And if we're not, the thinking behind it. Only because it is.
Funny you should bring that up.
It is a, an emergency, spot there. I mean, I think we have a blinking yellow in front of the school. So.
Joanna told me about that the other day, and I'm like, and who made that decision?
Okay.
I'm like,
Because I'm glad you're the other one, because the fingers got pointed at you, and I'm like, I really doubt that David would make a decision
No.
about. I said, here we are
No.
trying to add streetlights to make the town safer. I find it very hard that David would pull the blinking light without talking to anyone first.
no. Matter of fact, months ago when I found out that it got hit, I first told them, I says, well, that must be Eversource, whatever, that owns it. And they got back and they said, no, it's the town owns it. And I told them, get a hold of a traffic lighting company, and
Get some quotes.
get it going. And I came in today, Joanne saying, yesterday, that they were gonna take it down, I'm thinking, at a fire department, they really have to get out of there quick. It's a good thing to have a red light. So
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
do we want to maybe consider upgrading it
Well-
so they could control it to turn?
they do control it.
It has been for years. It's been yellow, and they have the ability to flip a switch and it goes red.
Okay.
And so when I spoke to Chief Lund today, she said even if it doesn't go to red, she says even if it's just to have a blinking yellow so that people see the fire department, the fire truck street signs, like, okay, you're coming up to, and then you see the blinking light. Because if you're coming up from Sauhegan Valley, you come upon the fire station before you realize you've come upon the fire
Yes,
station.
It's fast too.
So she was saying, I mean, even if it wasn't over the road, if it was more closer to the options to price it out. I mean, is it just a blinking yellow? Would that save us money? If it's on a pole on either side of the road, much like a school zone sign, that type of thing. She says she's open to other options. It doesn't have to be exactly what we had before.
I'm not one to make that change. I would say
And
red light, square in the middle of the road.
Well, this all came up because she literally thought someone said, "Yeah, don't do it," and I was like, "This is the first I've heard about it, Meredith." So,
No, it should be
all right, so
done, and
Should have
So-
said that down, Dave.
that's what I'm like. I was kind of like, I really find that odd that Dave would make a decision like that, and at least bringing it up to the board.
I mean, let's just get it fixed.
And that's how I look.
In kind.
I would rather have it fixed. And the thing is, it probably could save us money because that thing was probably 40 years old.
Yeah, now they have their LEDs.
LED, so
yeah.
it would
Yeah.
cost us
Yeah,
less
and-
to run, and the switching from red to or
Yeah.
yellow to red is all part of a single LED.
Yeah, question though, how did it get hit or damaged?
It was a truck or something.
Like a
I mean,
logging
that would have to be a pretty tall
Right.
truck.
It was a logging
Yeah.
truck, like one with those booms on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
how does it get under a bridge then?
He probably just wasn't paying attention and
hit
clipped it?
low-hanging wires.
well, you figure he was probably not paying attention because that thing hung over the middle of the road, over the yellow line. So if he had been in the right lane or the left lane, he would have missed it. He was in the middle. early in the morning. I believe someone said it was around 5, 6 in the morning. It was very early in the morning, and one of our other residents saw it happen, stopped, picked the light up, and put it over by the fire department.
Well, then his thought would it behoove us to also look at trying to raise it another foot, 2
And I
foot?
believe
Well, I'm sure when the traffic company, when traffic signal company
Yeah.
comes, they'll put it in accordance with what
Yeah.
the requirements are. But we need to get quotes and get
Yeah.
them.
And
on
I
board.
believe I asked Mark to put something together. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
These were some things, and I had mentioned them to Meredith, and she was gonna mention them to you.
She did. Yeah.
But, so the last I talked to Mark, he was waiting for some quotes, but I'm not quite sure if he's getting quotes on it. I don't know what he's.
Because I guess what it was the state, and I don't even know if this was when you were back, but the state came in, and this is just Meredith happened to be in the office for something else. The state was in for something else, mentioned, hey, are you replacing your flashing yellow? Meredith said, yes, we're pricing it. And they said, okay, because if you don't get it within a certain amount of time, your signs have to come down, the signs that were adjacent to it. And so I guess that time must have come around, and they told Peter to take care of it. And Peter took care of all of them except the one right in the middle that is basically almost attached to the power line. So that's the only sign that's left there. There used to be like 2 signs on either side and one in the middle. Up on
Yes. Where?
right in front of the police station, right in front of the fire
A
station.
ground mounted, you mean?
No, well, maybe they were ground mounted.
Yeah,
I
ground
guess.
mounted, and then I'm.
And then there was one on the light. So all we have right now, basically saying that there's a fire station, are coming up from Boynton or from that direction. There's 1 fire truck sign. Coming up from Sauhegan, there's 2. There's one a good distance away. In between them and Sauhegan, there's 1 basically almost right before you hit the driveway.
Yeah. Well, the sign should get reinstalled.
Yeah. But yeah.
So where is Mark with getting the proposals?
Well,
Do you know?
he was waiting to hear on prices, but I'm not, if you're saying you want it replaced in kind, maybe that's what he should, I don't know if he was looking at yellow lights or what, I don't know.
Yeah, it should be it's a flashing yellow, and then when I thought they were controlled by the door operators, but it could be a manual switch, but when it gets
It may be so,
switched,
yeah.
it goes to red.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it was controlled, but Meredith said they did have the ability to.
Yeah, and
Flip
look
it.
into the possibility of elevating it a foot or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not a big expense.
Yeah. Perfect. I will communicate this to the chief tomorrow. Thank you.
So really nothing with the chief right now other than
No,
advising her.
just let her know what's going on.
Joanne's gonna follow up with Mark on the traffic signal. I'll make a point to talk to Peter about the signs that were removed.
Yeah, because that's really what prompted it. I guess someone was at the station, and DPW showed up and started taking signs down. So
Okay.
that's what kind of even brought this to any of our attention.
Next week's meeting, I think we received 3 confirmations for the contractors or people that'll be here to discuss, as a board, how and what are we gonna be presenting, and what questions or feedback are we expecting? We should go into that prepared.
Well, I think, you know, for us, I think our presentation is pretty much what you gave us last week, that this was the floor plan we're looking at, priced out, and understand that, you know, we are trying to meet the recommendations, or however, you know, qualifications of what that building has to be, spec-wise. You know, that you just can't take any building and go, well, I can build the same building for a third less. I think they have to understand there are specifications that have to be met. But I would say, from what I would guess take from any of them, is where in the proposal, without changing those specifications or requirements, where do they see the ability to save money for the town, so that they can help us get this taken care of? You know, that's what I would look from them as, okay, with your expertise in this and your experience in other, you know, construction, where do you see the savings points? You know, whether it be in site work, construction, what, you know, materials, where can we save that it's not going to cost us as much money, but yet still meet all the specifications required for a new police station?
I mean, I would go in, you know, and hand out, you know, the 11 by 17, so everybody's looking at the same picture, so everybody has it in front of them.
Well, I was thinking that it's gonna go up on.
Okay, put it on the
Yeah.
board, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's sometimes easier to have it in your lap as well.
We'll do both, but I'm just saying for
Yeah.
those that may be here that,
Yeah. But, you know, John's right, the site work is 15% of the overall cost roughly. Is there a way to reduce the number of parking lot spaces? Is there a do they see a way to reconfigure that entranceway that might work better traffic-wise, although I think the architect worked that pretty hard. Is there some way we could skimp on a portion? I mean, you were talking about tile floors versus some other type of floors at one point. You were just talking about various finish work inside that might be have greater longevity, you know, value engineering type thing. Even, you know, if it has a higher upfront cost, hey, we're not replacing drywall every 20
but I wanna
years.
make sure, and I'm speaking on we're not at that level of detail with this. You know, a lot of this is just square foot cost, whether
Right.
it's gonna be,
Yeah, I absolutely understand.
Yeah.
We don't have detailed plans. We can't substitute
right.
this type of
Yeah.
flooring for that. We can't substitute this type of ceiling for that type of ceiling.
I'm thinking more along the lines of, here's the size of the building, the configuration. As a framer, do you see a different way of making it more economical? Or
Mhm.
as an electrician, do you see, whatever. Those are the types of things. I don't wanna get down into the details of, you know, you using vinyl base or wood base, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, just even some overall thoughts.
Yeah.
How, you know, what does the building feel like to them?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that can be just as valuable.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, we can't ask them to say, oh yeah, if you do a prefab frame, you know, framed roof versus a stick built, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the best building that you feel we could put there would be a nice square brick building. But cost-wise, is a nice square brick building the most cost efficient? Probably
Or
not.
is it the most functional?
Yeah, But I agree with you. You look at the ones that meet the needs and have been there forever and hold up. Yeah, nice brick square building does great things.
I mean,
But at the same point, and that's the thing. I'd like to hear from their experience. Okay, this is what we proposed.
mm,
Without talking, like I said, without shirking the responsibilities and the specifications we have to have, how can we save money? Talk to us.
or even just their thoughts. I mean, they build buildings to make it more appealing to the residents
To the voters.
in some way, whether it's landscaping, bushes, or just.
What about addressing, or do we address this in the introduction about safety complex versus police station and planning for future?
I think it should be part of the conversation, that realizing that, okay, whatever we do, it's already kind of, the majority of people have spoken and said, even the returns we got, is that a safety complex is a majority popular vote.
Yeah.
So anything we do has to be thought, okay, the next step. So that you can't turn it on the the plot, so that we can't attach, whether it be a garage or whatever, however we would make that connection, that we do have to think of the next step, however many years down the road that is.
And you're right, John, the safety complex is the ultimate goal, but I think for this year, we've hitched our wagon to
Oh, yeah.
a simple police station.
Well, it's like I said, it's a needs versus wants plan. One is a need. We need a police station. And then the want is to get a safety complex.
And I believe that plan did include the emergency management office.
It did,
Yes.
that was in there, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe that should be a discussion. Should it be included or should it be eliminated? I mean, I don't know,
It
what's
was
the
a
square?
tiny,
It's not
Yeah.
that big, I mean,
yeah,
what,
I
a
think it was
couple
an
hundred,
office.
It's an
and,
office.
couple hundred square feet maybe, if
No,
that big?
I mean, it's
not
literally, it's an office. It's not much of anything. According,
even- Yeah,
they left my plans in the
From
car.
memory, I wanna say maybe 15 by 15,
Yeah,
it wasn't
okay, that's 200 square feet.
yeah, yeah,
close.
yeah. It was one office, but
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I mean, how much else could we hack and slash out of it?
And what do you
I,
get in the end?
I,
But,
a place to
I-
park a police officer,
yeah,
that's what you get.
well, what I look at is, okay. I mean, on the other side of it, someone goes, well, you put emergency management in there, yeah. And if you take emergency management out, now we have an office for the rec department, which doesn't have an office right now. We're trying to do more and more for the kids and for the town, and our rec director's working off a laptop that they carry around with them everywhere, instead of having a place that people can come and have meetings and stuff.
they should be able to use this office, which I thought they did.
I think she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for meetings.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
They
but I'm
use
just
the one
saying.
downstairs? Conference room downstairs?
No, I think we just normally make the table.
They have the one downstairs.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's one of those things. Okay, if you move emergency
Yeah,
management out, then there's options for other things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's always. It's not going to be wasted right now. So it's, but and I guess I'll be honest. If having people here that are respected by the community in the construction field, to then ask them to be honest and ask them, okay, what do you think the best way is to get buy-in from the community? We have a buy-in from one section, but we need a buy-in from at least one other section to get the votes. What do they think it is that's holding people back? And how do they think they could help us if this is something they feel the town needs. If they feel the town needs it as well, how do they think they can be a help?
Donate free labor and materials.
Do you think, as part of that presentation, we need to do Tim's video?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Just-
I mean, it's a good video for a big audience,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I know you have it on your laptop. I figure, you did. We put it on there. I know you're using that, but I mean, I guess it'd be one of those things. Someone say, have any of you been in? Are you?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if they ask, we could mention that we have it, and if
Right.
they ask,
Okay.
Yeah.
we could do it, but
Yeah.
I think we could use
Wasn't
the
it
time
on
more
Facebook or
productive.
something?
Yeah, he
So we could
attached to
always-
Facebook.
Is
Yeah,
it still, is it always there, or does
Yeah,
it go away?
it doesn't
So
go away.
they could look
Yeah.
at it there then?
yeah, and it's
Okay.
also it's on YouTube in the town. Yeah, it's all there. Yeah.
What else, other than those documents I had from last week? Do we need anything else? What I was just pondering on, and I don't know what a value would be in there for now, but was that report from the first committee on how the decision at that time was arrived at for here.
I don't know that the decision-making process would provide any value in terms of construction. We kind of know what we want to build. We can talk about it briefly, but to go through that process again,
The only thing I'm thinking is if somebody raises the question, well, why are you looking at doing it here? Why not do it? And that's why I thought, well, if we have that report.
well, I mean, if we have one printed copy of
But
it, I think
that's
it's
all
about
I'm
11 pages or
just
so.
trying to make sure
Yeah.
if a question gets asked,
Yeah. No, it's,
we have the
if you-
documentation.
Yeah, if you have it here, and then I think, and then again, if that were to come up, again, it would be one of those pieces of, it's kept coming up. Don't take something off the tax rolls. Why don't you use something the town has? Well, this is something the town has. So. But yeah, it could come up.
Yeah, if we have one copy available, I think, that'd be more than sufficient.
Did you see if we have one in the file?
Yeah, there were actually two. We made a preliminary and then a final.
Just the final is what? Anything else?
No, I think that's gonna be good.
I think that's good. And I think we have Mr. Darcy coming in that evening as well to sit
Yeah,
in.
did you see the email with his timing on starting?
Yeah,
Well,
that's.
we're gonna have a time slot there from the end of the month until the 12th. So I'm hoping to come in on the 12th to meet up with him to at least get him squared away that morning.
Good.
I don't know if I don't see anything at all for that
No, the
one
only
week.
thing
No big
is
deal.
a question as to where we are on our background check. I assume it's in progress.
Well, I know I just signed that. I don't know if they were waiting for that.
No, well, yeah, he's waiting for that, but I also sent, Michael the forms that he has to complete and send back. And then those go to the company and then they have to do, but they've sort of started. Yeah. So it's in progress, it
Yeah.
just takes a long time.
And it was, the offer was contingent upon,
Successful
Yeah.
background check.
I'm trying to think, should I, we're talking about that here, make that announcement then?
Uh,
Nothing, the offer's been accepted.
Yeah, it should definitely be announced.
That just came in on my email. It's not planning on coming. Because we didn't write it out, we put it here, and she doesn't want it. Obviously doesn't understand what non-public means. You probably got one.
First of all, for the, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
for the public's awareness, as you know, Joanne's been very gracious in filling in for us as town administrator. We did have an intensive interview
Okay.
process, and we had made a offer to Mr. Mike Darcy, who has accepted the offer and will become the town administrator for the town. He will be attending the selectmen's meeting on July 30th for our discussion on the police station, but he will begin his employment with the town on August 12th. So once he's here, I hope all the residents take the opportunity to stop by and introduce themselves and wish Mr. Darcy luck. Pending that notification, I think we should discuss that and still proceed with the non-public.
Right.
Uh,
Do you have something?
Just a couple public items. The planning board is anticipating an application for a new cell tower here in town off of Peterborough Road. And it's gonna be under site plan review. And one of the primary issues here in town, master plan zoning, is preservation of the views. And I'm sort of just taking a straw poll. Do we want to see a cell tower as a redecorated artificial tree, or would you rather see a steel and aluminum structure?
One that works as far as I'm concerned.
I-
But is this going at the same location that's already been approved?
I do not know. I have not seen the application. We're
Okay.
anticipating the application.
If it's on Old Peterborough Road, that's where one was approved and never went up, but that's where I believe it's the same because the town was going to be able to mount their antenna on this tower when it got constructed. It never got constructed, so the town put up an antenna, is my understanding there, so.
Well, it's going to be welcome in town wherever it goes, and regardless, I'm just asking opinion, non-binding. Would you rather see an artificial tree, or would you rather see a steel structure?
I really have
Yeah.
Okay,
no
That's
opinion
fine.
on that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
artificial trees never look like artificial trees.
No, they're ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anybody say anything good about the artificial trees
Yeah.
yet.
No.
yeah,
But steel doesn't always look great either.
yeah.
Okay.
I was reading, there was something I saw recently, and I can't remember where I thought they were indicating that they're really getting away from towers now and going to some other, like, I'm drawing a blank of what it
The,
was.
they've been mounting them on buildings, you know,
Maybe that
small,
was it.
short
Yeah.
towers
Yeah.
on taller buildings, which are less intrusive.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we don't have too many tall buildings in town, so we have to use the mounting terrain that we do have. We do have a process to go through on that.
So has an application been submitted, or is this?
It's going to be submitted, we anticipate within about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then we'll do the hearings and so forth. But we're just kind of figuring out what we should talk about with the applicant if and when that application comes to fruition. Okay. The other thing that I had was it was mentioned at the planning board meeting, our meeting with Mr. Simpson of USA Properties on Stoll Road. And it was pointed out to me that RSA 674:44 E,
Land use.
site plan review,
Mm-hmm.
puts both the site and the improvement of supporting roads firmly within the purview of the planning board. Board of Selectmen have nothing to do with it.
I'm not sure I can agree with that, so I'm gonna ask you to give me that RSA again.
RSA 674:44, and it's parentheses E.
B
and
as in boy?
E.
E.
E is.
Yep.
And also look at the end of that at that end of that section in notes to decision. There's 2 notes at the end of that, first and second note, A and B, or 1 and 2, whatever they are, and they specifically call out all streets are planning board authority. So just to
I believe
make
if
sure.
you read that, and I'm gonna double check it, Bert, and I appreciate you putting that through, but I think that's only if, when the planning board was established, those were granted to them. And I don't believe when, but,
I checked with a few people, and I believe we do have that authority, or the planning board has that authority. And the other concern I had was that Mr. Simpson does not have an application in front of the town of any sort at this point.
Correct, and
He
he's-
received his approvals from the zoning board.
Correct.
He has not applied to the planning board for his site plan approvals.
not for the approval that he received from the ZBA.
Correct.
And as you're aware, he has the plan that he does have presented before the planning board running concurrently with what will be his new application.
No, well, yes, that's correct. He does have his subdivision running concurrently. But he hasn't done anything with it for about 3 years.
So he has a subdivision application.
It's 15 years old, and for
Oh, for the 40.
for the 47, 46
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
lots,
okay.
but he hasn't really pursued it or made any submissions relating to it for about 2 to 3 years. And he's just continuously said, oh, renew it, continue. So it's just sort of sitting out there in limbo.
And does the planning board need to accept the continuance
I believe we do. We
in
have
perpetuity
in perpetuity.
in that RSA?
I do not have a quote for the RSA on that one, but I believe that's what Mr. Kenyon has told us. We just continue and continue until either something is done with the property that alters the submission, or he voids the application and refuses to continue it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it seems to be a forever type thing.
Motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A3. Matters which discussed in public could affect the opinion of individual.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.